Yo, what's going on, guys? That's Bad Game back once again in GTNH, and up to 23. And today I've been putting in a lot of work. As you can see here, I'm working on a bigger clean room. I've gotten a lot of titanium, a lot of it. And I made a whole bunch of plates and rods. Probably should make even more. So while I'm thinking about it, let's set a whole bunch more to go. But yeah, we're almost ready to do some big things. Big upgrades to the base, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. Let's run through what I did that's new in between episodes. I added another row to this area. This is going to be for my temporary single block machine setups. So everything I'm going to build here is going to be torn down very soon. That's the best way to put it. I moved my titanium processing over to here, and man, things have really blown up because of that. So I'm using an LCR now, and I'm doing that because, let's look at the use recipe for this. You can put carbon and rutile together and you get your carbon monoxide back out this way. You could do it with the chemical reactor as well, but it's just more annoying. I'm not doing all that. So yeah, with this guy, it's super easy. I just have an electrolyzer in the bottom that is dealing with the byproduct. Eventually, that'll be an LCR too, but I'm a little bit broke in terms of PTFE and circuits right now. But yeah, now that this is over here, I've automated things a bit better. This is now automatically going, which it should have been the whole time. I just didn't think about it, but I put a circuit with a filter for the O2 cells on here, and they go into the tank, and they get filtered back out and put in the barrel, and then back into the system. So this is working super well now. It doesn't even need that many cells. I can save some back out of it. But yeah, I've been running this constantly. Whenever this runs out, I go put a new miner down. Just getting tons of titanium. Yeah, I'm smelting my tantalum now, too, because the ilmenite slag gives me a ton of tantalum. So I'm doing that in preparation for the circuit crafting I'll be doing very soon. So yeah, big things happening. And they have this random item pipe that is bringing the hot titanium over. May not be permanent, but at some point we'll automatically put hot ingots to where they gotta go into some back freezer. But yeah, we're looking good. The only thing that's a negative from last episode is this is not caught up, and it probably never will. These have gotten full already, so it's shut down. I'm going to need a better solution. I think what I'll probably do is have these fill up. And if they're full, I'm going to have some kind of what do they call them? Not like a level emitter, but it's the fluid level switch, where if it's a high level, it will output a redstone signal, and it'll turn this to basically flip a valve, which I don't think there's really valves in this, but I want to be able to flip a valve and send this to a turbine, and then it'll just burn the rest of this and any excess that I have. So whatever excess isn't byproducts, maybe I'll keep a whole bunch of it for a buffer of byproducts, but anything excess is going to be burned for extra power, which I think is only the way to deal with that in the quantity that I'm using it. And I'm using a ton of oil now. I've had to replace that barrel constantly. So I want to get chemistry going so I could double my fuel productivity. Because the fuel, it's regular fuel. What am I looking for? This. It's 480,000 EU. If I go to cetane, it's 1 million. So that's doubling the efficiency of my oil just by adding some random inputs that should be infinite for the most part. But yeah, over here we're going to build a new clean room. I think this is enough to get me a decent sized one. The good news is that you can go taller instead of wider, and you get the filter machine casings are annoying. These are cheap, so that's kind of what you want to do, is you want to go tall, and then you can get rid of this. I used to get rid of the clean room much sooner, but they removed the processing arrays. I can't craft them anymore, so I don't have any other choice but to just make this. Clean room is about done. Last thing I would do is get A2 inside of here, and the way you do this is with wireless connectors. I swear these used to use more power than it does now. Look at the tooltip, 14 AE per tick. I swear it used to be more than that. But yeah, you just want to put them as close together as possible, because just a couple blocks adds a lot of power drain that you really don't need to drain that much power. So this is the clean room. Should be plenty of room. I just set up a temporary machine setup because I don't really I don't know the full extent of my vision for the clean room yet. Definitely going to want 2 circuit assemblers to offset the circuit steps, because of all the recursive steps, you want every other circuit in the other one. So circuit steps 1 and 2, you want 1 in the top, 2 in the bottom, 3 in the top, 4 in the bottom, so they're staggered to make it faster. And it's actually faster by quite a bit, because it can multitask. But yeah, okay, that is set up now. We're going to put our titanium stock to work now. I think it's time to make a ton of stuff. And by stuff, I mean ME interfaces, ME controllers, things of that sort. So I'm noticing a problem. We're at a point where our power is almost not able to keep up with what we're doing. I may need to divert and upgrade this like very soon. 2 more large combustion engines are ready to be turned online, but I'm not going to turn them on yet because I'm contemplating a problem with the base. So now that I'm going to be making more power, my cables aren't going to cut it anymore, and I have 8x aluminums running on the underground of the base over here. These are pretty bad. I mean, the cost of the aluminum is not that high, but like it kind of is. I'm very quickly reaching the limitation of them because the most you can do is 16x. That's 16 amps of EV. That's nothing. So I'm already going to be making 12 amps of EV, and that's just not ideal for me. So I want to upgrade to something. Titanium cables are an option. They're better amperage, but they have 1 more loss per meter. My cables aren't running like that far, so maybe I can get away with that if I just path it in a smart way. I don't like that, though. I don't like having that cable loss. And also, it's not a permanent fix. Or nothing's a permanent fix, of course, but it's a very short-sighted fix. So I have to upgrade this again and again. So why not go for like an IV tier power backline so that we can sort of future-proof things for when I have my vacuum nukes running, which I'm going to be running probably in a couple episodes. But the IV options are not super accessible to me right at the moment. There's a couple that are really close to being accessible. One of them is melodic alloy. This feels like it has to be like super cheap to me. Here's the mixer recipe. It's a bunch of random stuff. Steel, coal, silicon, obsidian, endstone, tungsten, enderite, oroharican. I don't know how to say that really. But the enderite dust seems like the most annoying thing to make. But like it's not even that bad. It's not that bad. And then you get a ton of it for 1 craft, like a ton of it. And then the problem with Ore Hurricane is that this is locked behind the tier 2 planets. Which, I mean, we can do. We can get to that pretty soon. The problem with the tier 2 rocket, though, is this rocket control computer. This thing needs 2 field generators, which use LUV circuits. That is a problem, because I do not have access to that at the moment. So I think what I'm going to do right now... And hold on, let me discuss the other option that I noticed, is graphene. Graphene is actually pretty cheap. Like, it's relatively cheap. But there's a lot of chemistry I gotta do to get here. So, like, graphite is nothing. I need to throw a miner on diamond veins anyway, so I really need more diamond. And the phosphorus-doped wafer, I have a whole pile of phosphorus. I don't have, like, a good source of phosphorus identified yet, but I have, like, a bunch of it stockpiled from, like, processing other things. And then, yeah, one of these goes to 1 wire. That's pretty good. That's a lot of wire. Well, it's not a lot of wire for the reason that you really want these, which are IV motors, but for the purpose of my power, that is a lot of wire for the moment. Yeah, these are going to go by quick. Look at that. 4x, it's 16. Oh, it's going to destroy my phosphorus supply. But that's okay. So I think what I'm going to be doing is moving towards getting these graphene wires for temporary. Because the other thing is, you don't insulate these wires. They just kind of like exist. So when I want to upgrade to like melodic or something else, maybe it's not melodic. When I want to upgrade again, I could recycle them pretty easily. I just take them down and put them back. But to get to there, we have a lot of chemistry ahead of us, so we're going to work on that. But just know that that's kind of like my overarching goal at this point, is to upgrade my power backbone with those cables. Okay, another side tangent. I want to make shadow ore, which is going to give me shadow metal. This stuff rocks. We're going to make some cool tools out of it. And to do this, we need to do a crucible recipe with percontatio, metallum, tenebrae, and vacuose. Tenebrae is easy for us to get because I have a secret weapon, which is abyssal blocks. And these things are good. So let me scan this. That is 1 tenebrae. And then the way I made the abyssal blocks in the first place is I got black granite and I just chiseled it into the abyssal because the abyssal blocks are annoying to find. They spawn in like these weird like pockets underground. You can find it with the ore finder wand. And if you do run into it, I would gather some because they look pretty good. But yeah, that's beside the point. Now that we have that, we can get tenebrae for the cheap. And then I'm going to make as much of this as I can at the moment. And we're going to get ourselves some good tools because I'm quite a far way away from making a Vajra. Let's make tools that will basically insta-mine stuff for me, especially wires and blocks. And we're ready to go. Now, if you remember, this is pretty easy to do. When you have limited amount of inputs on this, I only have 3 right now. I'm not making another one. So what I'm gonna do is take an extra jar, fill this with vacuose. Let me grab the rest of my vacuose now that's done. And then I'm just gonna swap these 2 back and forth whenever I need to use them. So then it'll do this, spit the item out, then I'll switch it, wait for me to see the... Let me take my glasses off, hold on. The hollow glasses are sometimes more annoying than they're worth. Yeah, you just switch the jars back and forth and it takes the essentially that it needs at the moment. And then you're good. Okay, and with this, we can upgrade our tools. I had to make a random HV extruder, or EV extruder, my bad, to get this done. Because it needed to make white metal gears for this. I don't know, it'll be worth it though, it's fine. I'm actually completely out of workstations now. I have 1 left. So we need to prioritize Autocrafting, which I think I said I was going to do at the beginning of the episode. I don't know why I'm putting it off, but I just am for some reason. Let's try to finish this. What am I missing? Oh yeah, I want to use shadow metal plates on the bottom. And then what else am I missing? Oh, a battery. Yeah, I could do that. Actually, I have a battery in here. Okay, look at that. Mining speed, 32. The only thing I don't know is if this was necessary in here. I don't think it is, but we're going to take that. This thing is going to be awesome. We're going to love these new tools. Okay, so let me charge this up, and we'll test them out. Let me just real quick demonstrate this, guy. So this is the snips. Basically instantly mining the cables. A little bit slower than Instamine, but still really good. And the casings break very efficiently as well with this. So I'm happy. This is a good decision to make in the little offshoot there. I just noticed that hilariously the wire cutter in the recipe for the snips wasn't actually consumed, so I didn't need to make this thing. And there's no way to recycle it, so whatever. It just exists now. We'll use it in the AE system, I guess. There's one upgrade I almost forgot. Look at this upgrade. I go from mining speed 16 to 41. That's like too fast. This is like very too fast. Oh, that feels good. We can actually break abyssal block in a time that feels good. Okay, next up, AE2. Here's the deal for single blocks. Battery buffer. I'm only going to give it 4 amps for now. I could upgrade that later. But we're going to bring power to this. And then I have a P2P tunnel coming in and bring channels in here. This has its own special one that I did not set up yet, which is this one. Okay, output side. And now we have 32 channels there. So you have eight machine slots on each way. So this is a EV line. This is an HV line. I got to be careful when I hook things up so they don't explode. But, you know, just be good at the game. We're not playing Dark Souls or playing Minecraft. So I'll just have to use my brain. Some machines I want to be pretty quick. Some machines I don't really care at the moment. Or they're going to be like... what's the word I'm looking for? Gotten rid of very, very soon. Like my plate bender is going to go over here. I'm just going to take it from over there, put it over here. Because I'm going to be very soon making a multi-block one. So stuff like that. Like I'll make most of the machines, like a lot of assemblers and stuff in EV. That's why I have it set up like that. So now I got to make the machines, which is not the part I was looking forward to. Another side quest upgrade though. I'm rebranding one of my backpacks to an AE2 bag. And we're also going to upgrade it to a big backpack. This is going to be nice. So I'm going to organize all my like AE2 and cables and stuff in here. And that should be pretty good. Standard practice for these guys is to make the input go up. Input from output allowed. Put on the interfaces and then rename these. So this is wire mill. And that'll be wire mill. I guess it'll be wire mill 16. No, it doesn't need to be 16. It has to be 1. This is where it starts to get annoying because the circuits can't change in here. So like 16 is technically faster for the moment. It won't be good for any longer because the 16 circuit is just kind of like a cheat sheet for when you're doing stuff manually. When you're auto crafting, you don't want to be crafting and uncrafting the wire bundles. So that's what that is. But that's how I set things up, just as proof of concept. So now let's go back to the base. I need travel anchors. And we go to the interface terminal, and they show up. Okay, perfect. It's almost like we know what we're doing already. And now I need patterns. I actually got to upgrade this thing. I need to go to the fluid pattern terminal, but that's beside the point. Now, what's something that I should encode? I guess like titanium plates are kind of important, you know? There you go. Then you put it in the bending machine. We'll put it fourth because I want to put like the steel, aluminum, stainless, titanium. I just like to organize it that way. And yeah, there we go. First recipe encoded. So now it's a matter of me encoding a million things. Literally everything. I also have on me a molecular assembler. This is going to be really useful too. Not sure where I'm going to put this at the moment. Let me make a decision on that. I just put it here for now because I couldn't decide. So this guy is what crafts stuff. I'm going to need acceleration cards for this, and we're going to need, what are they called? Pattern capacity cards, and a lot of them at that. So maybe we should teach it to make these first. So you could wait 5 seconds in an assembler, or you could do it in this thing as a crafting recipe. This falls off because I think you can only put 5 cards in this. So this reaches a max speed, but like if you have like a million overclocked assemblers, it'll be instant in this. Well, we don't have that, so we're not going to use that for now. Don't forget to set auto output on, otherwise they won't work. So my current approach to doing recipes is asking myself, what do I need really badly? And what I need really badly right now are circuits. So we're going to do that. And we're just going to put in every recipe that we need to make circuits. And then bit by bit, we're going to get to the 16Ks, which will let me get to the pattern capacity cards, which lets me save space, which does a lot of things for us. So we're working bit by bit. There's a lot of things going on. We have to solve many problems along the way. So chemistry is going to come up right now, because for every SMD, you need polyethylene. I'm making tons of ethylene, but we're just not finishing the process right at the moment. So we can do that pretty easily. I almost forgot, you need to put a crafting storage on your AE system then. And this is what's going to actually start crafting stuff. Like, this is the computer brain that thinks to craft. And we're going to have them in this room over here, which is like the general AE2 room. So I forked off from this line here, which is formerly just for our storage, but we'll reorganize this when I have a bigger one. I usually like to put them in the floor, but it's kind of cool to just have them out as well. Maybe I could decorate them somehow. Yeah, that room's a work in progress. You're not supposed to be in there. Okay, so we could actually try to do a craft now. We'll see if it comes in. It is working. Something is wrong. Battery buffer was facing the wrong way. That happens to the best of us. Okay, now we're auto-crafting. Now it's time to finish putting stuff into the auto-crafting so I can actually make stuff that is good to make. And we are completely out of like all circuits. So I'm hoping I could squeak by and start crafting circuits. I'm doubtful though. So once again, methodology-wise, I've programmed the item that I want. Now I'm going to ask what's stopping me from getting 100 of these? And this is the answer right here. So this we can automate. This, I don't know. I might just do large batches for the moment because I don't have access to all the laser engravers and stuff that I need right now. But yeah, we can start automating these. Let's do some chemistry. So here is the quick PTFE setup. Take a look at the top here. This isn't done yet because my HF is not automated. It will be very shortly because I'm going to be able to make more LCRs. But yeah, we have P2Ps bringing in oxygen, which is from a temporary input because it's not automated. A methane, and then this is the PTFE output. So what's going on over here is that we bring all the fluids together. We have a circuit 9 in here, circuit 24 in here. If you lock all the output hatches, I don't think there's a way for that to mess itself up. Mixing circuits can be risky if you just gotta double check and make sure you're not gonna mess anything up. But this is evidently not doing that. The bottleneck by far is the chlorine recycle loop, but we can add a multi-block electrolyzer at some point to speed this up. Or the other option is to have like an HCl, I guess like an output specifically where there's a place in the base where HCl gets recycled, and then it all goes to that hub, and then you supply chlorine with the P2P. I'm not sure what the better angle is, or just do it on site at this specific spot. I'll think about it. But this is the bottleneck, like, by far. So to avoid that, I don't really know what to do. But it's okay, because it could just run a long time right now, and I can address that when it needs to be, and this can just go. Because that's all we need for now, just small amounts of it. I don't need 4 million at the moment, but eventually maybe we will. Okay, so more chemistry is going to be popping up over here. I don't want to wall share too much with like this kind of setup because, like I said, I don't want to do my electrolyzer next to it. I mean, I could do it on top of it, but I feel like it's worth it to just make extra casings and not wall share. Like, if this is a complete setup, just leave it a complete setup. And then we can wall share like random chemicals that only have like 1 or 2 inputs. This has much more inputs and it's a little bit more complicated, so let's leave it on its own as to not mess it up. Next little setup, this is my circuit board factory. Now, this guy's going to be making both the circuit board itself and the, like, they're both named circuit board. It's going to make the blank board and the filled board all in one, just for now. I'm going to add it, I'm going to split it in just a moment, but I need to get this done with first, because I'm so broke. So let's see if this works. The only thing I worry about is if I request a very, very large craft of circuits, will this fill up with copper foil and not craft? I'm just going to have to see. And it's going to be really obvious if it doesn't work, because it's just going to not do anything, you know? Okay, HF and HCl are done now. These were easy enough. They're sharing a import hatch with hydrogen in it. And then one is getting chlorine, one's getting fluorine. That's how easy it is. Now, I need to make these guys go where they gotta go. I guess give them a buffer. HCl probably deserves a buffer. They both deserve small buffers because they're basically instant. They don't deserve a buffer then. They work instantly. And then this is temporary as well. Sorry for the flashbang with the thing, but this is a long wire. This is going to be dense cable eventually, and this is going to be for all of my, whatchamacallit, chemistry. As long as dense cables are free. If the dense cables aren't free, I'll have to check between like what's more free, the P2P or the dense cable. I'm not sure, but like I just want to try to limit the power usage so my A system's not drawing like a huge amount of power right now. Okay, but yeah, these are going to be HCl, and then this is HF. If you don't know how to use these P2P networks, they are so good. Like, I feel like when I was first learning how to play the game, this was a pretty big hurdle to get over, but now that I like understand it, man, it feels clean to do chemistry in this. I gotta call it for today. I'll finish up automating all this stuff next time. I mean, the automation is never gonna end. So while I'm logging off for the night, I'm setting up over half of a barrel. That's 36 stacks of rutile that go through to become titanium. I'm hoping that my oil backlog will be able to sustain this, and if it doesn't, then it is what it is. I could jumpstart with another oil tank. So that'll be interesting to see how much titanium I'll get out of that, and then we can go even crazier, because I've been using titanium pretty liberally. Yeah, I already have so much of it. Yeah, oh my god, we have so much titanium. So next time is going to be big. We're going to be making a ton of stuff, as if we didn't already do a ton of stuff this episode, but it's going to feel like we're doing tons of stuff every single time, which is good. Yeah, that's going to be it for today, guys. Thank you all for watching. If you guys have enjoyed, leave a comment if you have any tips for me, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.